Welcome to another episode of Career Conversations. My name is Krista, and today we have the pleasure of interviewing Jacqui Gatt, an iGaming professional legend with over 20 years' experience, who started her career at the Dragonara Casino on the live tables and is now a senior director of product operations at BeyondPlay, which was acquired by FanDuel. Can you start telling us a bit more about your current role at BeyondPlay?
Hi, Crystal. Lovely to see you again. Sure. So I'll start from my previous role at
Yeah.
BeyondPlay.
Okay.
I started off at COO. I think I was employee number 2 or 3. And when you're a COO in a startup, you wear many hats. You're a jack of all trades, and no day is the same. I was also faced with the challenge that I had to learn a lot. I had to research a lot. Thankfully, because of my years in the industry and because I worked in the gaming and commercial teams before, I was exposed to areas such as legal and finance and budgets and so forth. But it goes from having these big teams of experts around you to all of a sudden, you're a one-man team, or myself and
Wow.
Carolina really at the time.
My gosh.
And you need to crack on with it and
Wow.
get things done. As the company grew, of course, we hired specific people for the finance roles and the compliance roles, integrations, and so forth. I think we even done HR at a point. So it was literally all on us. And as I said, no day was the same. Thankfully, I'm the type of person who loves fast-paced environments. I thrive on stress. I like solving complex issues. So I really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, it did. I'm not going to lie. It does come with a lot of stress. It does come with a few bad days. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the job. Now, since the acquisition by FanDuel, I've taken a more product-leaning role, Senior Director of Product Ops within BeyondPlay. And I'm very much looking forward to the next few months and years even to see what kind of innovative and new products we can bring to the table.
So, how did you get started in the gambling industry?
Sure, I'll try to summarize it in a few sentences. Otherwise, I'll be here and you'll be here all day. So yeah, as you mentioned, I started my career around 20 years ago, which makes me feel very old, especially in such a young
Same.
industry. So yeah, I started as a live casino dealer at Dragonara Casino in Malta. It was a great job. I absolutely loved it. I loved meeting people. I've always had this passion for games and playing cards and roulette and so forth. And this was also luckily the time where a lot of online gaming companies were starting out. At that time, specifically poker rooms and sportsbook. And they were moving their offices or starting out their offices in Malta. So there was a lot of opportunity to join. Um, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know much about computers. I recall someone approaching me, and I was like, yeah, I can use Google and Facebook, but I'm a live casino dealer after all. Thankfully, that company, which was a startup poker room, actually decided to take me on anyway, and in a customer support role. And the rest is history from then onwards. I've worked multiple roles in the industry, mainly in operations, on the B2C side. So I worked as a VIP manager after that. I then joined Betson, where I was CRM manager. I moved to Leo Vegas when Leo Vegas was just starting out, I guess, or maybe a year in, where I took on the role of live casino manager. Still one of my favorite roles till this day because we started out something new. Live casino was pretty new back then. And I got to launch the Leo Vegas live casino. Um, After that, I joined Mr. Green, which was acquired by William Hill. And there I took a more commercial role as head of casino, both operations and commercials. And following that, I was previous to BeyondPlay, I was a director of gaming at Kazumo. So in a nutshell, that's my story. On the B2C side, my current role at BeyondPlay or the previous before the acquisition by FanDuel was COO. I was actually on garden leave from a previous job at the time. And Carolina, the founder of BeyondPlay, called me and she told me about the startup she was about to launch and she wanted me on board. I listened to the call for 5 minutes and I knew there and then I wanted to be part of it. So yeah, fast forward to
Exciting.
me. I was at BeyondPlay in my current role.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look, you learn every day. I'm still learning every day, and my BeyondPlay role is probably when I learned the most, actually. So you never stop. I think the best advice I can give is don't shy away from challenges. Do your research, learn, ask around. Don't feel silly when you can say, I don't understand, I need mentoring with this is not my area. Sometimes I feel it's better to just come out and say that, and people will help you out. You always find people who are there and ready to mentor you or teach you. Don't oversell yourself, be honest, but also don't undersell yourself. So take on, even if a role seems a little bit too big for you, as long as you're honest and you can say, listen, I'm ready to take the challenge on. If someone else is believing in you, then you should believe in yourself. But of course, be clear and be honest about any areas you lack experience in. So then, once you ask for help, you'll get someone to mentor you in that area and continue to grow. Um, I'm an old school girl, so for me it's pen, paper, and phone,
Okay.
which are always very close to me. I do use some online tools to keep in check, like Monday.com to follow bigger projects, bigger tasks, especially when you're spreading, responsibilities across teams, across your team, and so forth. So it's always good to be able to track. We work a lot with Monday at BeyondPlay.
Okay.
However, I always find myself taking notes, scribbling down on a notepad. I like to be efficient, so it's either WhatsApp or a phone call, a cold call from me
Yes, yes.
to get things done very efficiently and quickly.
Like if you had to recruit someone for your department, how would you go about it? Do they need to have the iGaming experience or?
I think it's role dependent. To be
Mhm.
honest, none of us were born with gaming experience, and everyone bet on us and gave us a chance. So I really love giving people an entry in if they've got the right work ethics and the right attitude. I think that matters more than anything. Then, of course, there are some roles like, let's take, for example, casino manager or a trader. If they come with experience, it helps. If you're talking about broader roles like finance or product potentially,
Mhm.
then it's experience that's learned on the job. Um, I found that in certain roles, hiring from outside the industry sometimes works better because they come with fresh ideas. Um, Specifically for finance roles, HR, they tend to be across very similar across all industries. But yes, I love to give everyone a chance, definitely, especially in junior roles.
Next topic is CV optimization. I'm sure you have looked at your fair share of CVs throughout your career. Do you have any tips for job seekers?
I think, again, be authentic on your CV and being honest is very important. Hiring managers see through a certain CVs, and especially unfortunately now with the advancement in AI, a lot of CVs seem to be like more of the same. They
Mhm.
sound very robotic, if I may say that. So of course, using technology to help your sentence structure better, to maybe correct certain words or sentences or phrases or so forth, fine. But writing down, prompting, ChatGPT to write your CV is not going to work. And within 2 minutes in the interview, the hiring manager is going to realize that this is not the person writing the CV. So I think being authentic is really nice. It sounds human. It makes a hiring manager resonate with you more. Um, Another tip is to also list if you've done, for example, voluntary work of some kind, or I don't know, part-time catering jobs while you were during your studies. These are very important to mention because, again, it makes you sound human and it helps the hiring manager place you in the company. Do you have the right work ethics? Are you a cultural fit within the company or not? So I think it's very, very important to not just think about all the big titles or all this experience you can put in there, but also put like what you've achieved in life outside of your career, really. Now, I fully agree with your statement. You need to be strategic around it. Obviously, if there's better opportunities, anyone's going to consider a better opportunity. Once I was advised, don't move sideways, move upwards, and I've stuck to that advice. Also weigh your decision, weigh your pros and cons. I would say don't just go for a move because it's a bigger salary or because the company is promising you breakfast in the morning.
Um,
You know, you need to think about what kind of growth this brings to your career. Are you ready for that growth? Because something I see also is people who are accelerating their growth and then unfortunately they face frustration, they grow too fast, they can't take on the roles and responsibilities that they promised to, just because they wanted to go for a bigger salary. So patience, be very, very strategic about your move, be ready to take maybe even smaller roles if you're not moving upwards, but then broadening your experience in other departments, if that's something, that you're looking for. Yeah, I mean, look, I've had many opportunities to work in many great companies, and I've always taken them, but they have to be for the right reasons.
yeah.
Always not just salary or any other perks that come with it. The other important thing when you're job hopping is to research about the company, maybe speak to friends or ex-colleagues who work at that company. Um, think about how you'll get on with your hiring manager. That's very important. So, you need to be able to build a relationship with your manager and have open conversations. At the end of the day, they're meant to be your mentor. So it needs to be um, a good relationship over there between both. So BeyondPlay is a fully remote company. I've worked around kitchen tables, kids' bedrooms, offices, cafes, everywhere. Um,
Uh-huh.
it's worked out super well for me because, especially when you're in a startup, you're working 24/7, and the role I was at least. But because I work from home, it still gave me that little bit of flexibility of being able to be at home when the kids come from school, and so forth. So I'm all in for working remote. The challenges do come with it, especially with new hires, maybe, or people who are not accustomed to working at home. Some might get very, very bored. Some might want that social life of an office. I had done like 17 years of office before, so I was happy to be in my little own private space. But also there's a matter of trust. I think trust is built and earned. And when you're hiring remotely, you're hiring based on trust, that people are actually going to show up to work and do their jobs on a daily basis. But overall, I really feel that we've moved away from that at least full-time office environment, and many people, especially today's fast-paced life, would prefer working remotely or at least under hybrid remote office conditions.
Yeah. Do you have any job opportunities that you would like to share with us?
Sure. We do have a few roles open. I would suggest that anyone interested should follow our LinkedIn page, BeyondPlay, and we regularly post
Post.
roles over there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Jacqui. It's been amazing talking to you, and thank you for your great advice.
Welcome, Crystal. Have a good
See you.
day.